What's up, everybody? I'm Courtside Kenny, and if you are anything like me, you're a Gamecock fan. You love the South Carolina Gamecocks, head coached by Dawn Staley, the women's basketball team. And you know that there's some breaking news that Ashlyn News came back today that she did indeed tear her ACL. We were hoping for the best, but it's not what we wanted to hear. Her season is done, honestly. And first of all, I want to shout out her. I think that you guys can look at my videos. You can look at my recaps. I've got one coming for the previous game tomorrow. I love Ashlyn. I think she's our X factor. I'm going to talk a little bit more about her. And so because of that, I want to wish her well, speedy recovery. I pray to God that it's pressed down, shaken together, running over when she comes back, because we just want her to be good. Honestly, she's a young woman, and we just want her to be good. So shout out to her. Thank you for the season, everything you've done. You have truly been that girl. And also know that I did put your dunk on a hoodie that is coming next week. Actually, I ordered it last week, so it's coming next week because it just takes a long time. So I'll be wearing my Ashlyn hoodie soonly. So let's talk about, let's just hop right into it. So I think everybody's first question is like, who's next up? Like, who's going to do it? And I think that we saw one of the answers in our last game versus Mississippi State. I think that's Chloe. She started the season hot. She had those double doubles. And then we started to rely more on that second unit. And then I think, like, to me, every time Ashlyn was on the floor, she was a positive. She doesn't have an offensive bag or whatever, but that's not her role. It's the 2 blocks per game that we like. Well, she's not going to give you a whole bunch of points. She may not even get a whole lot of double doubles in this particular system, right? But yeah, it's the blocks, it's the defense, it's the athleticism. And I think Chloe did a great job on Sunday when Ashlyn went down, right? Chloe had that double double and she just looked aggressive. Again, I'll have a recap tomorrow, but if you've seen the highlights, I mean, Chloe got some shit in her bag, baby. Ha! So on the offensive side, I'm not worried about her. On the defensive side, I don't think I'm worried about her either. I mean, I think that you can clearly tell that she's been in the gym. And I don't think that she's going to get bullied around out there. She's not our most athletic girl, but I do expect most of the responsibility to fall on Chloe. Honestly, I think, why would I hold it like that? Honestly, I think like Dawn loves, depending on her higher classmen. I think that's the whole point of her program. So I expect Chloe to have to do a little more Sanaya. Obviously, if Sakima comes back, maybe them, just because they have that experience. But I do expect a lot to fall on Chloe. Another name to talk about is Joyce Edwards. I think that she has been rounding into form. She looks better. She has been our leading scorer in like 2 of the last 4 games or something like that. 17 points, 20 points, Again, though, we're talking about Ashlyn, so it's not really what you're missing on offense. It's what you're missing on defense. And I'm not sure I've seen a lot from Joyce on the defensive end. I'm thinking, but I'm not sure I've seen a lot from her on that end that makes me feel like, yeah, she's got it. Now, again, when it comes, like, if we're going to take the approach of just trying to score more than the other team, I mean, I think we could. I do think some teams pack the paint on this. Not everybody thinks it's because of Raven, but I think it's also because of Ashlyn as well. And so, like, when you take out Ashlyn and you're looking at Chloe, Tessa, Tahina, Raven, Malaysia, like when you're looking at that, did I come up with 5 names? But if that, like a lineup based in that, that's plenty shooting. Like, pack the paint on that. Good luck. Because Chloe also has a mid range. Joyce has a mid range. So I think, when it comes to the offense, it's not as much of an issue. And that could be an approach that Dawn will take is maybe, I'm just going to outscore everybody. We're outscoring people by 20, 30 points anyway with Ashlyn. Do we see more like 80 point to 120 point games, right? Well, that's crazy. But, do we see more games like that where we give up 70 points, but we have scored 100 plus? So I think that's something to look into. But overall, I was talking about Joyce. I'm not sure on the defensive end. Y'all let me know in the comments if you feel like I'm tripping. But I think there's still some development there. I think she's a wide body. She's a big girl. And so she stops people because of that. But I don't think she's turning people away. Like, you go in the paint, you see Ashlyn, you probably going to do something else. So I don't know if Joyce has that. I don't know if Chloe has that either, honestly. But I trust Chloe a little bit more because she's been around. And so I think, Joyce will have to hit shots for sure, but she's going to have to make more of a defensive effort. And I think another player to talk about is Adele. And in hindsight, Dawn has been using her the past 2 games, and she's looked good. I think even in the last game, she didn't have a huge contribution because she only played 2 minutes. But she played well in those 2 minutes. She got rebounds. There is that thing where, because she's so tall, when people go into the paint, they turn around because she's big, she's huge. So I think, in my mind, I would like to see more Adele. I think Dawn is going to go more Chloe. But in my mind, I would love to see more Adele, and that was the truth. The last game, I would have loved to see more Adele last game too, when Ashlyn first went down. But I'm not sure, if Adele has shown us enough, and when I say us, I mean Dawn and the coaching staff to do that. But I do really hope that she's getting warm and ready. In those two games, I really hope that she's ready to be thrown into the fire in that regard. And I think honestly, this is one of the best ways to learn when it comes to what Dawn be saying is that you got to treat Adele as if she's been out of basketball for 2 years. And so I think like one of the things that you might do is just throw her in the pit and see what happens. Try to get her to come up with with her game. And I think, to me, in the two games that I've seen Adele, I've seen some amazing flashes. Again, check my recap about Mizzou, the Mizzou game. I have a little bit on her in there, but I think what we see out of Adele is really interesting. I know that we compared a lot to Camilla, but she might have a deeper bag than Camilla. I'm not gonna lie to you. But she's a freshman who hasn't played for 2 years, and so that's a lot of pressure on her. But I would love to see more of her. I would love to see her get 7 minutes a game. One other player to discuss is Miriam. Miriam has always gotten minutes, I'd say consistently. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but it feels like maybe she gets like 3, 4 minutes a game, and she could get more minutes. And a lot of people say they want to see more Miriam, etc. If I can be really honest with you, I cannot say that I've seen a whole lot from her that gets me ecstatic and excited, especially going into SEC play. She's a little too timid for me. And we need aggression, especially when we're talking about replacing Ashlyn Watkins. Ashlyn Swatkins. You see what I'm saying? So I guess we'll see if Miriam is an option or if she's going to continue to get the same amount of minutes. But like on either side of the ball, I haven't seen much of anything from Miriam that excites me. It's no shade to her. It could come around. But I guess when I'm talking about replacing Ashlyn, Miriam is not a name that comes up there. That being said, 5 of our next 6 are ranked teams. When you're talking about replacing Ashlyn, and again, you got 5 of your next 6 are top ranked teams. That's because you play in the SEC, right? Where it just means more. I think there's Texas in there. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I can't. Technology is not working for me right now, so bear with me. I think there's Texas, there's LSU, there's Tennessee coming up in the next 6 games. So, I mean, those are tough teams, and you're going to need some defense on those teams. Especially, I'm concerned in my mind. I'm concerned about Texas and LSU because I feel like those are rebounding teams. Have y'all seen Old Acre out in Texas? I know we like to talk about Madison Booker, but Old Acre, like, that's a big girl. And I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean like in a way of like hey, Becky Hammond used to call her girls the biggest, baddest bitches on the block. And that's what Old Acre is. Excuse my language. But that's a big bad bitch. No shade, no tea. I'm not trying to be mean, and I know y'all young kids, but that's just the way I gotta say it. That's a big bad bitch. I mean that in a very complimentary way. The most complimentary way you can mean it, I mean it. I'm scared of Old Acre. Okay. And I'm even more scared to go up against her without Ashlyn Watkins. Next to Madison Booker. And then you got the Lady Vols, who are, I think they were undefeated, or they got one loss recently. LSU, who is undefeated and has Nisa Morrow. Now, overall, I don't think we're dead in the water. I don't think that our season is done for. I do think that you'll be hoping that many of your freshmen, many of your underclassmen are going to develop quick. And I think that you need them to understand that the margin for error is much, much thinner. And when I say that, I think first about Malaysia. I think she takes a lot of risks, which she should, because I think that she is still learning her game. And Dawn understands that. But I think she has to be a little more controlled moving forward, because what I feel like Ashlyn's role was in that second unit was just she was doing all the dirty work. And that's why I'm saying like 9.6 rebounds, whatever. It's the 2 blocks, you know what I mean? 1 assist, like it's not that. It's that she was doing the dirty work so that Malaysia didn't have to, so that Tahina didn't have to, so that Tessa didn't have to. And so now you're going to ask them to focus a little bit more on those things, focus a little bit more on the fact like we don't have help anymore. You may have to play a small ball unit. You're not going to funnel them to no help. And if you are the funneled help, you funnel into Raven. You know what I mean? Like, so I think you got to think about all those things. And I'm like I said, I'm interested to see what Dawn does, how she exercises that clipboard, or if we play the same, if we play similarly, or if we play differently. But I think that's the one place in that second unit that you're really going to miss Ashlyn Watkins. And then again, as for Ashlyn, I'm just very hopeful. I know that we're in 2025 and ACLs are not a death sentence like they used to be back in the day. But however, I do feel like one of her greatest skill sets is her athleticism, and I do know that she's a girl that dunks. And I want to speculate here or be dramatic, but the dunk at TCU could have been her last dunk. Not because, again, not to be dramatic, not because, but sometimes that can be traumatizing to have to start jumping. I don't mean to start jumping, but to do too much that you may not have to do. So I'm hopeful. I think she'll have a speedy recovery. I also feel confident in her trainers, Body by Benetti, whatever. Everybody loves her, and I feel strongly that she knows how to handle this. I also know that I think Raven tore an ACL as well, and she looks fine. But it's a different skill set, right? So I mean, I think we're good. I think it's bad news, and it's not what we wanted to hear, especially with a game coming up. But I do think Mouse is coming back, which is really cool, and I'm excited about her. And really, I'm just excited about the journey that these women are going to be on. I was telling somebody earlier, college basketball for me is not about the wins and losses. Honestly, it's about the development. I love professional women's basketball now. Y'all think I'm making videos now? I'm gonna make a whole lot of videos when the WNBA starts back up because I love professional basketball and I'm looking at it, looking at college basketball from that point of view of is this person going to make a good pro rather than can my team win? And I would highly suggest if you're a Gamecock fan to do that now, because I don't think, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to some of the better teams out there, we already didn't beat UCLA, and we're not going to do that without Ashlyn. I'll be very surprised. You could probably get past UConn. You would have to. Well, I'm thinking about Notre Dame right now. That's going to be more in the guards to lock down their guards. I'm not too worried about their post Notre Dame. Who else could you see? USC, Kiki and Rhea Marshall with no Ashlyn could be pretty rough. Not gonna lie to you. Who else am I thinking? Like I said, I think we'll beat UConn. I don't care what we have. The SEC teams, yeah, like I said, Texas is the one I'm most concerned about. LSU, I think you could get past LSU, but I'm not sure. I'm thinking, you could get past the Lady Vols. We got past Mississippi State, right? Right? So we'll see what happens, man. And hopefully by the second we have a rhythm because I really do want to win during Asia's retirement ceremony. I think that's very important to me personally. Like I don't care a whole lot about wins and losses, but I do want one for Asia's retirement ceremony. That being said, guys, that's all I got. I'm just here trying to help us out. This is not great news, especially when we just found out Paige Beckers dodged serious injury, and that's great for her. I'm not saying that's like, I think that's awesome. Very happy for her. I just think, why not me? So we'll see, and I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to see what Dawn does. I'm excited to see who steps up. Like I said, I think it's gonna be Chloe. I don't want to see Adele. So let me know in the comments who you think it's going to be, what you think is going to happen, how you're feeling about the news. And let's just all be nice to each other for like the next week. Again, shout out to Ashlyn for an amazing season, period. And shout out to the girls, the women on the team who are doing it. They went live today, and I'm pretty sure they had the information earlier. They were in good spirits. And shout out to Dawn. And shout out to Molly. We're gonna need you, baby. We're gonna need you, baby girl. So yeah, that's all I gotta say. I just wanted to make a quick video to talk about that. And yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm courtside Kenny. I'm hurt. Grandma hurt. Grandma hurt. No, grandma not mad. No, grandma's hurt. No, fuck it. Grandma's hurt. Yeah, I'm courtside Kenny, and I'll holler at you later. Thank you for watching.